Hey guys, what's up? Attacking Toucans here. Before we get this video started, I want to promote something real fast. We just released a documentary about the charity gaming convention we started this year called Versus Expo. If before or after watching this video, you guys could go down to the description and watch this video, and then give some feedback on what you think about it, it would really mean a ton to me. And the documentary was very professionally made and is actually the first video to start off a new YouTube channel, but made by my friend Jeff. So if you like his style of documentaries, I would recommend subscribing to his channel as well, because I think it would also make him feel really good. And I will also remind you again about this documentary at the end of this video. Thanks so much guys, and I hope you enjoyed the episode. Welcome back, you mischievous mammals, to Zmer. My name is Attacking Toucans, and currently we are in the Woodfall Swamp, being attacked by some dragonflies. Holy crap. Dang, they have some electric stingers. Let's just jump in the hole. Stop L-targeting. Thank you. So I'm just gonna go ahead and grab whatever is inside this hole real fast. Ooh, it's a good chest. We're starting this episode off good, guys. Come on, let's get Bunny Hood. Key for Snowhead. Ooh, okay. So now we have enough keys to actually properly beat Snowhead. So if we can finish Woodfall in this 3-day cycle, I'd like to do Snowhead in the same 3-day cycle so we just have a million things to do. But that is going to require me to be very effective with my time. I need to have very good time management to do so. But I have good faith in myself. Alright, so the best thing we got last episode, which makes me happier than anything else, is the fact that we finally have the Song of Soaring. I don't think you guys understand how much editing I do to these videos to make it a better enjoyable experience for you guys. Because without the Song of Soaring, I was just having to run everywhere. If there's one chest over in Great Bay, I would have to run all the way over there, get that chest, and then run all the way back. It would be like 5 minutes there, 5 minutes back, and I would just cut it out. But like, now I don't have to worry about that. I can just teleport there and save myself so much time. Okay, so last episode we also got the yellow Pikmin mask, or the Pikachu mask, or the thing from Star Fox. It just represents so many video games. Come over by these weird little plants. How do I activate it? There's the dancing bushes. Ah! Oh, hello. What a mysterious little creature. Hee-hee-ho, hello child. If you are attempting to fool me, it is impossible. We kittens can recognize our own by the sheen of our tails. But you're a good child. Let me put you to the test. Answer me this. Pick one of the 3 choices. So there's some really interesting trivia questions here. We have Tingle Tingle Abracadabra, Tingle Tingle Cuckoo Tingle Rama, or Tingle Tingle Kulu Lumpa. I like Cuckoo Tingle Rama a lot. But I'm going to go with the right answer so we can actually get our prize. Answer me this. Pick one of the 3 choices. What time does Romani, the girl at the ranch, go to bed? Dude, I'm not like a stalker. How the hell would I know this? Oh, she doesn't sleep. I mean, she kind of doesn't in this game. Probably 8. Seems like a really reasonable time to go to bed. I can't believe I used to go to bed like at times like that when I was a kid. Isn't that weird how when you're a kid you go to bed at like 8 or 9 p.m. and you turn into an adult and you can start going to bed at like 4 a.m. and you're like, oops, my bad. What weapon does Romani the girl use? She had a slingshot! Freaking like Mallow from Twilight Princess. A slingshot at the store right now, a slingshot! Mikau is of which race? Oh, this is the hardest question I think I've ever answered. Like he races the roof every time we get a question right. What is the name of the song that Romani, the girl at the ranch, teaches you? The Song of the Fields. That's the sister song to the Lake Hylia anthem. Lake Hylia! Hee-hee-ho, good, very good. Take this prize. Aight. Most of those questions were pretty easy. Sometimes he'll ask you some like really confusing questions that even I won't know the answer to. Like I mentioned earlier, one of his questions is how many cow bobbleheads can you find in Clocktown? And while you can go and like count, sometimes like you don't even know that's something you can answer. Oh my god. Okay, somebody told me that you were able to jump up this ledge as Fierce Deity. That is insane and amazing and also ridiculous all at the same time. Alright, so we're back for day 2 of the Decky Scrub Playgrounds. The platforms this time. Last time the platforms were all moving vertically. This time they all move horizontally. Personally, I think this is the hardest out of the 3 days because the vertical platforms are a lot easier to land on because it's a lot easier to like sense where they are in space. But the ones that move horizontally are a little bit more difficult. But I still think I'll be able to do it first try because I'm attacking freaking toucans and Majora's Mask is my crack, so I've gotten a little bit good at it. A couple things I did off camera, because after this, we're going to go to Woodfall Temple, because I'm ready to start a temple for once. I mean, we started doing Snowhead at one point, but I don't really count that. Off camera, I went back to the Pirate's Fortress, and I got the key that was inside the jail cell, so we'll be able to open up the one locked door in there. And then I also went up the mountain, and I got the gold dust, and I saw if I could use the gold dust to upgrade my non-existing sword. And no, he told me that he only works with swords and cutlery, so I think since we don't have a sword in our inventory, I wasn't able to do that. I think that was patched. Whoever told me that, we would be able to get like the next upgrade once we have the gold dust. I think they left a comment saying that that thing was patched. Oh, speaking of another thing they added that I really wish I kind of would have waited for my Let's Play, but it's okay regardless, is in the newest version of Zamura that just came out, they added in the prizes that you can get from collecting all the fairy shards in the temples. And we're not going to have that happen in this Let's Play, so unfortunately that's 3 locations less that we have to work with as far as the randomized spots goes. But it's okay. I'm still going to collect all the great fairy shards just to show you guys where they all are, just so this Let's Play can also be like a reference guide for people who are trying to like figure out how to get everything. And I still want to get the rewards that you get from helping the great fairies out, because the first one gives you a better version of the spin attack, which is actually the worst reward. I don't think really anybody cares about the special spin attack. It helps a little bit, but not too much. Then the reward for Snowhead Temple gives you extended magic, double magic meter bar, so that's worth it. Then the Great Bay Great Fairy, which is a double great. Oh, look, Epona's over here, just chilling by the water. Don't drink too much, Epona, you'll probably get sick. Some of it's poisonous. Great Bay, the Great Fairy there, gives you double defense. And then the last one gives you the Great Fairy Sword. But like I mentioned earlier, that reward is randomized. But now that we are a Deku Scrub, well, actually, what I really meant to do is we have the land title deed, so we can get him off of his property. Link is buying his first home. He's growing up. It's so weird. I actually need to do a house tour of my, wait, what did I just do? Oh, you have to talk to him as a human, or else he just tries to sell us beans. Dude, I don't want any of your beans. Thanks for stopping. You're not from here, are you? Nah, I'm from Rack City, bitch. Rack City, bitch. Rack City, bitch. Rack City, bitch. Here, have a piece of paper. I wish you'd let me have that. I'll give you this land in return, deal? Another purple rupee. We have way too many rupees. Can we buy anything? I wish there was like more shops in this game. There really isn't that many shops. All right, bye, Mark. Ooh, did you see that lightning? Oh gosh, I love lightning. So yeah, like I said, I need to do a house tour of my house here because it's actually kind of coming together. We add like one new thing or decoration every month. Like we just added a house plant, and it is the most adorable thing ever. Are you kidding me? More bomb shoes without getting the bomb bag? Can we just find the bomb bag already? Because we've literally found like 5 or 6 instances of bomb shoes that we can't even hold on to. I'm high-key pissed. But yeah, it's pretty crazy to me that when I moved out to California, I was practically homeless for the first like 7 months. I was staying in my office that I was renting from Gerard, which was kind of like having like a small college dorm almost, and I went to the gym to shower and get ready and stuff for the day. But now I have my own place with my friends, and it's honestly surreal, like finally having a home to live. We're just renting it, and it's a pretty expensive home, but we're splitting it between 5 people, so it's actually really cheap. Like I'm actually paying less for my home in California than I did back in Missouri, just because it's split so many ways. And the thing I like the most is the kitchen. I feel like I could actually film like some sort of like cooking stream there or something, because it looks really professional. It's definitely like one of the nicest kitchens I've ever seen. I'm very, very blessed and thankful to get the home that I managed to get. All right, but we are in Woodfall Temple. Finally. Took us forever to get to it. Can't believe we're finally entering the first temple of the game. We're a good ways in. So there is the first stray fairy. And we have our great fairy mask, so collecting all those little fairies is not going to be a problem whatsoever. I love the ambience in this temple. It's one of my favorites. I just love the tribal sounds, like the little bongo drums and the little weird just like chant sounds. The like that shit. I don't know. I can't really replicate it myself, but I like that. That's that shit I do like. Okay, so one of the cool things about the Great Fairy Mask is if you wear it, you can tell if there's any stray fairies in a room that you're in. So if there is a stray fairy in the room, her hair will be all glowy and sparkly, but right now it is not. So we've gotten all of the stray fairy shards in this room. Little details. So something else I want to talk about again is just the difficulty of this randomizer. I think this randomizer is actually way more fun in some regards in comparison to Ocarina of Time, because you actually have to strategize way more. Especially if I did a race at Majora's Mask randomizer with somebody, it would just be like a completely different experience altogether. Mainly because of the fact that you really have to plan things out. Like I said, there's lots of items that reset during your 3-day cycle. Like I had to go recollect the key for Woodfall, so you can find items that you're going to need in keys and side quests, and you have to remember where those are, and then plan the best time to go back and recollect those items for you to do the temples. So there's just like a new level of strategy you always need to be thinking about when doing these randomizers, and it's kind of like the next level up. Like if you've played a lot of Ocarina of Time randomizer, you can make it even more difficult by playing Majora's Mask randomizer. But then there's like, I just like how the levels just keep going up, because I've been doing the streams of the entrance randomizer on my channel, and that has honestly been just a completely different experience from everything so far. Because originally I just had to think about what locations I needed to get to, but in the entrance randomizer you need to remember like all the entrances so you can memorize just the route to get to certain locations. Eventually, I'm not sure how much more difficult they can get, but I like how we're just consistently progressing and just making them more and more complicated. Garrow's mask. So this is the other mask that would have allowed us to climb up the area. It looks weird. They have to use the 3DS model in the tracker over here. I should probably start marking the fairies. Oh, I have to mark every single one? Okay, I'll just like mark these every once in a while. I'm not gonna mark every single stray fairy as we get it, but I'll remark it after every few fairies that we collect. Just a little fairy in this beehive as well. Oh, the little guy. Stray fairies are honestly weird looking. They have really pursy lips. They're just going, "Nyeh." Their face always makes it look like they're about to kiss you, which I would like to be kissed by a fairy shard. That just sounds so wholesome, but just like kissed on the cheek, nothing like weird. Me just saying nothing weird just makes it more weird for some reason. Also, something else I need to mention, because I've been getting lots of comments about this. Lots of people have been curious what the join button beneath my videos means, because it's like a new feature that YouTube's added that not everybody understands. And pretty much what that is if you click that, you have the option to join my channel as a member, which means you pay $5 a month towards the channel. And if you do so, you get a couple member perks, like whenever I do live streams, you'll be able to use custom 2clan emojis in the chat, and then also in chat, your name will have a rupee next to it to indicate how long you've been a member for. So if you ever see anybody in the comment section or in the live chat of one of my videos, and there's a rupee next to their name, that means they're a member of the channel, and the more expensive the rupee is next to their name, the longer they've been a member. So it's similar to subscribers on Twitch, where people can directly support their favorite content creators and help them out a bit more. So if that is something that you're interested in, that's how you do it, and I would appreciate the support. And if it's not something you're interested in, doesn't matter, just I appreciate you watching my videos in the first place. So by buying merch or by becoming a member, those are pretty much the two ways to financially support me, because I don't really have a Patreon or anything. But since this is built into YouTube, it just felt a bit more natural, I guess. We need to get that Tycoon Wallet put into Zmur. That's what needs to happen. Now, something that completely terrifies me to think about, and this will probably exist at some point in our lives, but a Majora's Mask entrance randomizer. Majora's Mask, like I said, is already at a base game more difficult than Ocarina of Time, but if you added an entrance randomizer to this game, holy crap. The thing is, I'm probably going to end up doing that someday, aren't I? Like, if that comes out, you guys are going to want me to do it, and I like to satisfy my hoes, so I will give you guys all of the Zelda randomizer content. Because we'll probably be playing Zelda randomizers for the next 20 years. I can't ever see myself stopping playing these.
That was easy.
Alright, what we got in her? So many rupees! They're all just going to waste. Thing is, we don't need them. There's literally nothing for us to buy, so it's just completely pointless. Shop sanity is not nearly as crazy in this one as it is in Ocarina of Time. I feel like there's just a lot more things you have to buy in Ocarina of Time. Or maybe I just feel that way because in Zelda 3 we didn't find our wallet for a very long time, and so we just lost lots of rupees early on and just had to be sad the whole time. Alright. Night of the second day. Oh wow. Is there anything else we need to do on the second day before it goes to the third day? I hope I'm not forgetting anything. I feel like I am. I just have this anxiety now. Holy crap. Ooh, let's freaking destroy this boy. Ride it, my pony. Oh, my sword beams work on him. Can we get him? Oh, he's like invincible while he goes back to his pony. This is actually way easier. Damn, 2 hits with the fierce deity's beams, and we're smooth sailing. All right, there's one of the frogs. Oh, we don't have the Garrow mask yet, do we? Yeah, that kind of sucks. So we're for sure gonna have to come back through here once we find the Garrow's mask. One thing that also sucks is we also don't have the boss key for this temple, and I don't know where that is. So if we don't find it either in this temple or in the 3-day cycle, I'm gonna have to come and do this whole entire temple off screen again. But another heart container, I think that puts us at 4, but there is 2 more heart containers, because if you remember, we started this Let's Play off with 1 heart, and it took the other 2 heart containers and put them somewhere else, so they're still out there just waiting to be found. So this whole entire temple is a little bit intriguing to me in general. So as we know, the Deku Scrubs are all a bit more tribal and are theorized to believe in some sort of god that lives up in the sky because of the existence of this temple. So the type of structure this temple is built as is called a ziggurat, which is a structure they started building thousands of years ago back in Mesopotamia. And the purpose of it was to get people closer to the sky so they could be closer to the gods and have a better connection with them. So a lot of the time they would put temples on top of these ziggurats so they could be higher. Nope! Get out of here with your very stinky breath. So a lot of the time they would put temples on top of these ziggurats so they would be closer to the gods. And Woodfall Temple is the same shape as the ziggurat, although it has like a more swampish tribal feel to it. But the place they built it was actually at the highest point in the center of the swamp. And they probably built this at the highest point so whenever they went to it, they could get as close to the sky as possible and have a better connection with their gods. So it's pretty interesting to think of the Deku Scrubs as religious. You wouldn't think plants would have a religion. I wonder what religion they believe in though. Now, if I had to guess, I would probably say that they all praise the Quad Sun, because that's who I would worship if I was them. Now, there's 2 ways we could do this. We could do it with the Deku Stick and be chased by the moths, or we could do it the simple way and just use some fire arrows so we don't have to deal with these annoying bugs that chase you everywhere and are hitting you. All right. Oh, they got us! They're still here! You can't escape them! I think this is a really good place to have the bunny hood. Okay, we opened up the way. No, we lost our only Deku Stick. It's burnt. Get away from me, you freaking moth faces. Alright, so I think right now is the perfect time to talk about last episode's comment question of the day. Whew, that's close. You do not want to fall in the grape drink in here, because it is poisonous, and you probably... Actually, we could probably swim to safety with how many hearts we have, but if you come in here as your first temple, then you will most likely die. Come down here. Thank you. So last episode's comment questions of the day. I kind of forgot that I've asked this comment question of the day before. I think this was like sometime last year though, so I'm not too worried about it. Because on top of that, I think it's a really good comment question of the day that has a ton of like interesting answers that you could possibly have. But I asked if you could cross over any game with Legend of Zelda, kind of like how they did Crypt of the Necrodancer, what games would you have be a crossover? And I took my favorite answers, and I also came up with like actual game titles for them as well, if they were to follow through with those ideas. The first one that I think would be really cool is Zelda Kart, because I love how they put Link in Mario Kart 8 and how they have the Hyrule Castle level. I would love to have a full racing game that was all Zelda levels, and like, could you imagine just racing around like Gerudo Valley or like Hylia, or there's just so many areas that they could pull from in creating levels for Zelda Kart levels, and there's just so many interesting characters and lore for Zelda. I think it'd be really interesting. I don't know if they'll do that, but we'll have to see. I think the next Mario Kart game for the Switch, whenever that comes out, is definitely going to have a lot more crossover. I think they're going to keep on like pushing with the idea of having more Nintendo characters in the Mario Kart game so they can use more Nintendo areas for creating levels, because they're probably starting to run out of ideas for Mario-themed Mario Kart levels. They add some more game IPs and start turning Mario Kart into like a Smash Bros. Type series with how they introduce the characters. That'd probably be a good idea. You gotta kill all the little Poes in here. Really hard to find because this room is so dark. I feel like it's the best to do is Deku Link, because you can just attack them by spinning, which is a lot easier. Well, I guess the sword wouldn't be a bad idea either, but I don't have that. And I'm too lazy to equip the Fierce Deity mask. There we go. We get a prize for that. The next game would be the Binding of Zelda, which would be a Binding of Isaac crossover game, because the Binding of Isaac is actually a game that was originally inspired by the original Legend of Zelda, where you have randomly generated dungeons and you try to go through and make it as far as you can. But I think that would be a really good idea, because like Zelda has so many enemies, and they could just have it be like an enemy gauntlet type Zelda game. It'd be for very interesting roguelike dungeon crawler. But I think like the problem with Binding of Isaac is it's like very, very weird and off-putting to a lot of people. I think the concept would be a lot more enticing towards the general public if it was based around Zelda. Because like I said, Binding of Isaac is weird. There's like a bunch of like poop and blood and really weird, scary stuff. And that's kind of the charm of it, but it's also very off-putting, I could understand, to a lot of people. The next one we got is somebody suggested that they make a Pikmin-based Zelda game, but instead you command a little legion of Koroks, and they could just name the game Koroks. Kind of be like Pikmin, Lemmings, and then you could have Koroks. I could definitely see that being a thing, like being able to micromanage Koroks and like they can fly around and do a lot of different stuff. I definitely see a lot of potential in that concept. So the next game is something I'm honestly really surprised that hasn't been made yet, and that is Lego Zelda. I feel like Zelda would work perfectly for a Lego game. I would honestly play the hell out of that, because Lego games can be very unique with their game design and how they interpret like a world into a Lego form, and I would love to see a Zelda world created with Legos. Next, we have a Dark Souls Hyrule edition, which would be like a hyper-realistic, scary Dark Souls-like game, but all of the enemies are Legend of Zelda enemies, and you play as... I was thinking it'd be really cool if you played as Sheik. Make a game kind of like Sekiro, but you play as Sheik, where you just fight tons of really hard enemies, and then name it Sheikiro. I think that'd be perfect. Because it'd be cool to see Zelda made into like a more hyper-realistic graphic style. There's so many enemies that I would love to see with that type of graphics. Just because I'm just in love with the Zelda world. It's just so cool to me. And then the most common answer is a lot of people said that they would want a Fire Emblem-like Zelda game, where it's a turn-based RPG with like combat strategy. And I think that also has that would have a lot of good potential. And the thing is, we talk about all these things, and in the past, it seems like Nintendo probably wouldn't do stuff like this because they're usually pretty uptight with their IPs. Well, Nintendo is a company that is always a little bit behind, but they're consistently changing and they're opening up to new ideas all the time. So I feel like when it comes to things, we can never say never with what Nintendo is willing to do, because we can't speak on the behalf of a company of what they're going to do for the rest of eternity. Like, they'll eventually just keep on pushing out ideas because they're a company and they're going to want to make money, and eventually that's kind of just what you have to do, is you have to start catering to like the fan service and stuff like that when it comes to crossing over IPs. Because that's like why the music industry is booming right now, is because they are so willing to just do so many crossovers and features and stuff with music all the time. It's like a kind of a good thing and a bad thing. It has its ups and downs. Yeah, just making fans happy by doing crossovers like that and just making games using your favorite franchise that have different genres is, I think, a really cool way to continue expanding an IP. Alright, I think we're getting pretty close. I should probably update how many fairies we have. I haven't really been doing that. I think we have about 10. I think there's 4 in the last room. Fortunately, we did not find the boss key while going through here, so looks like we're not going to be able to completely beat the temple, but it's not impossible. Never say never. All right, there's 10. I marked the other one a little bit early. We're going to go back in this room because, as you might have noticed, once we got this gigantic flower spinning, it clears all the water in the temple. I guess that's just like the filtration system, and it was just broken down, but we fixed it. It's all good. So now we can come back in here and get the fairy that's in the water. If you try to get this before cleaning the water up, you will probably die trying to collect this fairy, so be careful. Thank you. Also, I was just like thinking, like before I started recording the episode, I was wondering, whenever you bounce in the water as a Deku scrub, afterwards you drown and you disappear back up on the next ledge. And I just thought, like, that's unrealistic. But at the same time, if they would have done something a little bit more realistic, like having you actually die and have to like go back to your last save point or something there, then it would like take away from the fun. And that's like a really basic thing about video games. They all do that. But I've really like thought about it. I'm like, it's very interesting to think about when game developers make games, they have to find the perfect balance between realism and fun. Because usually the fun thing about video games is that they're not realistic. They kind of break the boundaries of physics and lots of things. But that's just something that every single game developer has to think about, is the balance of their game's realism and fun, and what decisions they make to see that through. And it's just one of those things. I guess now that I say it out loud, it's not as interesting as I thought it was earlier, but it is food for thought, I guess. I don't know. Okay, this is the room before the boss room. We literally just like plowed through this temple. Like I said, it's a lot easier to do so whenever you have the bow coming into here. and the fire arrows. Like, both of them combined worked out pretty well for us. Okay, I think one of these Skulltulas has a stray fairy in it, maybe? Actually, no, I think it's just in this bubble right here. There's a lot of stray fairies in this room, though. Just a lot of enemies in general. They just kind of slapped a lot of enemies back here. Also, I just want to remind you guys again, at the beginning of this video, I mentioned that you guys should watch that documentary. Now that the video is almost over, after you're done watching this video, I would really, really appreciate if you went over to that channel and watched the documentary about the convention that I started this year, because there's a lot of heart into it, and it really captures perfectly what we're trying to do with our convention to make Versus Expo different from other conventions. So, and we like had a lot of work was put into it. Like, it's a very professional, probably the most professional style video regarding me ever put onto the internet. But I would love for you to go and check it out and maybe even comment and give him some like encouragement. And if you like his video, he's using this as the inaugural video to start off his YouTube channel. And I'm personally excited. Like, after watching this video, I think his channel has a lot of potential. So if you guys enjoy it and you think he also has potential, I would like for you to potentially subscribe as well, so he can get excited about having more subscribers and want to make even more videos like that. And he has a really good, firm grasp on like internet culture and like the gaming culture right now. So I would love to see him make more videos talking about, I guess, whatever he chooses to talk about. That's really cool, and I'm very, very happy about it. And we're about to be launching more information about next year's Versus Expo soon. For those wondering, we already have dates announced and locked in. It's going to be July 10th through 12th next summer. So if you guys are interested in going, I advise you to start possibly saving up, because it's pretty cheap for a convention overall, and it's in the middle of America, so it's pretty equidistant to a lot of places. So we're trying to make it like accessible as possible. But now we have all of the fairy shards. We can't go to the boss, so I'm just going to play the Song of Soaring to warp back to the entrance of the temple. Man, I really hope you find that boss key, because I don't want to go through all this again. Although we won't have to. If I come back to the temple, all we'll have to do is run straight to the boss room. Only reason I went through the whole temple was because I was collecting all the stray fairies and getting the rest of the chests that were randomized. Like the map and compass and keys and all that stuff. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and... Actually, can I make this jump? I probably can. I don't need to teleport again. So if I have to, that'll be kind of dumb. But let's go to the Great Fairy and receive our prize from collecting all of our fairy shards. We deserve it. We put in #work. Just navigating this swamp area is really fun. There's like the gameplay elements are so much fun because like you have to fly around, you drop deck you nuts, you have to fight the little bugs, the dragonflies. There's a good amount of variety, and it just kind of always keeps you on your toes moving through here. Alright, Wanda. I brought you back all of your little bitches. I wonder, maybe the prize is randomized. I actually don't know. Maybe this version of it has randomized Great Fairy prizes. I literally haven't checked. I was kind of just assuming. We're about to find out, though, I guess. Oh, strong young one, I am the Great Fairy of Power. Thank you for returning my broken and shattered body to normal. Yes. Fill me with that sword technique, girl. What? Excuse me? We have... I got the power! Alright, so we got the mastered spin attack, but we can't use it yet because we still haven't found a sword. Where is our base sword at? I really want to know where it's at. I have so many questions. I can't believe we haven't found one of our 3 swords. That's literally the running meme of this series, is how long is it going to take me to find my sword? Okay, one thing I want to do before we end this episode off, but if we have the Mask of Sense, if we go into the Lost Woods, there is some wild mushrooms that we can sniff out to make a potion for at the potion shop, and I'm pretty sure that is randomized. So there's no monkey in here to like lead us, so we have to just kind of move around and try to not get lost. I hear a monkey right now, but I don't see any monkeys. I don't know the proper way to go. If I can even do this, I don't even know if I can do this during the nighttime. Ooh, we can. I thought I just saw some of the, oh, there it is. Okay, it is here. Perfect. We gotta scoop up some of that stank. Check it out. We got a bottle of stank. Okay, get me away from this turtle. He's bothering me. So annoying. Alright, let's take it to the potion shop. It's kind of hard to gauge how far we're into this randomizer right now. I'm kind of realizing it feels like we're pretty far in, but at the same time, we haven't even beaten a full temple yet. or the spider houses, or like some of the longer side quests. So I'm still really curious as to how much longer we're gonna keep going. Like, we're making decent progress each episode, but at the same time, it's hard to guess. What is your guys' estimation on how many episodes it's gonna take for us to finish this randomizer 100%? Because the longest series on my whole entire channel right now is my very first Let's Play, which was of Majora's Mask. And that series was 75 episodes long, I believe. I mean, this one won't be nearly that long because the episodes are longer and it's a randomizer and I'm doing way more editing and all the cutscenes are cut out. But it's still going to be longer than like a Zooter playthrough, I think. Alright, how come she didn't give me anything? What? Okay, interesting. I don't know what happened. Maybe I have to leave and come back in. Anyways, today's comment question of the day is I'm going to make it related to that documentary I told you guys about. So the top link in the description is a link to the Versus Expo documentary. I would love for you guys to watch that, and then the comment question of the day is just, what do you guys think about Versus Expo? Like, what are your thoughts and opinions? What is your reaction? Is that something you guys think you would want to go to? And to me, this is probably one of the most important comment questions because this is actually something that I've like dedicated my life to working on. And so getting opinions about that really means more to me than anything else. So I would really appreciate if you guys give it a watch. It's only 12 minutes long, but there's a lot of fun stuff in it. There's a lot of Let's Players and streamers featured on the video. And we try to make it pretty inspiring in general. So if you watch that, I really appreciate it. And anyways, we're going to go ahead and call this an episode here. So thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you guys next time. Have a great week.